So, Mr. Cross, question for you today. Do you bug in or do you bug out?
It depends on your situation. I would love to say the best idea is to bug out, but circumstances may not allow you to do so. So in many cases, your best bet is probably going to be to bug in, unless you yourself or your community has a designated, prepared spot, a location to go to. And then you, like everybody else, is going to be rushing to where? To the woods? To the country? Everyone's got the same idea, and believe me, they most likely will. The interstates are going to be clogged up. Highways are going to be bogged down. Your neighborhoods, your local streets are going to be inaccessible. They damn sure ain't going to be smooth. So I think it's best, or in your best interest, to take your time and to not sit back, but gather yourself, gather your resources, find out what you're working with, and get your plan together, get yourself together, and if you have a group, get them together, and stay isolated while you can. If it's a martial law scenario, the military are going to be on the street. They're not going to allow you to run rampant, and anyone who is seen out most likely will be considered an enemy combatant. It's going to get dangerous. It's going to get very difficult to move about. So bugging in and preparing, or being prepared to deal with the situation that way is probably the best route to go initially.
Let's say all your options point to you having to bug out. By that being the case, and you have no other option, and you cannot stay where you are, what about the attire and how do you bug out? Do you want to go out there and be wearing military tactical gear and carrying the resources and supplies that you can, or should you try to carry plain gear and hope that would be better? In your personal opinion, what do you think?
Bugging out then, in that case, to me, suggests that there is an element of chaos, or all other options have been exhausted. So that's really going to depend upon what your area is like. If you're in an urban setting, if you're in an apartment complex, some sort of an area where there is a great number of similarly like people, then you're going to want to do your best to blend in. You got to keep in mind, these people are going to be doing the same thing. They're going to be trying to get around. They're going to be trying to get through supplies if they don't have them themselves, and get everything that they can. And they're not going to let you stand in their way to do it. So hopefully you planned, hopefully you prepared, and in doing that, you put yourself in a better position to move about and to move about freely. In an urban setting, I would suggest dressing urban, dressing in a tactical fashion, which I do prefer. Only makes you a target. It makes you something for everyone to focus on. And in essence, you might be flaunting what you have and what your company has, what your group has, and that's painting a bad picture for your situation.
So you're saying if you dress tactical, sometimes that could possibly draw the wrong kind of attention to you and put your group or you personally in a situation to where you could be possibly, in a sense, attacked or become a victim.
Almost certainly. Tactical suggests military or law enforcement, something along those lines. Now, there are corporate groups who do have tactical teams who don't necessarily dress like the police, but they look the closest thing to it next to a civilian. In earlier times, even militias dressed in a fashion that was indicative of what they were going to do. you want to try to do your best to keep all that down, because quite honestly, the normal person may not be able to differentiate you from, in the case it's the military, that is the issue. Won't be able to differentiate you from the military, at least not the trained eye. It says something about you as well, whether you actually have the skills necessary to carry your weight or not. Dressing that part can get you in a lot of bad situations you don't want to be in. Military, law enforcement, more likely to react in a more passive manner if you're dressed down, and if you look like you're not a threat than you do looking like you mean business. And that's something that should be considered before you walk out of your door.